We know that she is signed with Nike. We know she got screwed. And I mean that. We know she got absolutely screwed in that Nike deal.
When we think about the world of professional basketball, we often focus on its powerhouses, the athletes whose performance transcends the sport and whose influence spills over into the cultural zeitgeist. Women's basketball too has seen its stars rise, each contributing something unique to the game. Yet, in recent times, two athletes have risen to the forefront, Caitlyn Clark and A'ja Wilson. These two players, both of whom have an immense impact on the court, are now at the center of a fascinating intersection of talent, marketing, and social influence.
So it's very interesting to see the creative minds behind the project, but it's been tons of fun, and I think it's uniquely to me because it's a shoe that can do a lot. It's a versatile shoe.
In this article, we'll explore the contrasting journeys of these two athletes, the marketing strategies behind their Nike endorsement deals, and what it means for the future of the WNBA. We'll break down their unique approaches, the impact they're having on the sport, and why Caitlyn Clark's journey might just represent the next era of women's basketball. Caitlyn Clark, a name now synonymous with groundbreaking talent in the world of women's basketball, has made waves not just in the college game, but across the entire sport. Her record-breaking performances, transcendent skills, and unwavering dedication have made her a global icon in basketball. The numbers are staggering: packed arenas, skyrocketing TV ratings, and social media accounts bursting with followers. Caitlyn's game-changing style of play, mixing sharpshooting with playmaking, has redefined the way the game is played and viewed.
A lot of hard work, but also a lot of fun, and I have an awesome team that is trying to put my weird words that I say into a shoe, which is great, because I'm like, I want the thing that goes the thing, and then they're like, okay, we got it.
But beyond the numbers, what truly sets Caitlyn apart is her mindset. She's not just another talented athlete, she's a transformative figure. Her humility and leadership on and off the court stand in stark contrast to many others in her position. Rather than indulging in self-glorification, Caitlyn consistently uplifts those around her. Whether it's her teammates, the WNBA, or the fans, Caitlyn is focused on one thing: the collective success of women's basketball. Her attitude of lifting others while pushing herself to new heights makes her a rare breed in the sports world. This relentless drive and collaborative spirit are also reflected in her endorsement deals, with Nike recognizing her value not just as a player, but as a brand ambassador. However, despite her success and massive potential, Caitlyn's journey has been far from smooth.
If you are a signed athlete, if you're a signature athlete, it doesn't really matter how much money you make off your initial deal. All that really matters is how much money you are making from the shoes. And
A'ja Wilson, an MVP and multiple-time WNBA champion, is another major figure in the women's game. She is undeniably one of the best to ever play in the league. A'ja's talent and leadership have helped shape the WNBA, and she's become a household name thanks to her on-court success. Like Caitlyn, she is also signed to Nike, but her journey with the brand has been vastly different. A'ja has received an immense amount of marketing support from Nike, even earning a signature shoe. Nike's move to brand her as one of the faces of the sport came with significant fanfare, yet it's not without controversy. While A'ja's presence in the league is undeniable, her performance in key moments, especially during the playoffs, has been less than stellar. A significant marketing push for her signature shoe, coupled with an underwhelming postseason performance, left many questioning whether A'ja truly embodied the face of the WNBA. Furthermore, A'ja's public persona and comments on privilege have raised eyebrows, especially as they seem to overlook the growing popularity of other players like Caitlyn Clark.
He struck absolute gold when they signed Caitlyn Clark to an 8-year, $28 million endorsement deal. So why in the world are they ignoring her?
A'ja's privileged position in the women's game, aided by her Nike deal, may have inadvertently created an image of entitlement. This sense of superiority clashes with Caitlyn's humble nature and laser-sharp focus on the bigger picture. Nike, a global juggernaut in the sportswear industry, has made significant strides in promoting female athletes in recent years. The brand signed Caitlyn Clark to a groundbreaking $28 million deal over 8 years, yet she has faced a frustrating lack of visibility. Despite her immense popularity and on-court accomplishments, Caitlyn's promotional materials are virtually non-existent. Her social media is on fire, but Nike's support seems muted compared to what A'ja Wilson receives. Some might argue that Nike's marketing decisions have created a problematic situation, one where Caitlyn's meteoric rise has been ignored or delayed in favor of keeping A'ja's ego intact.
At this stage, it is just the company fumbling the bag in a generational fashion.
The issue is simple yet profound. Nike is allegedly delaying Caitlyn's signature shoe until 2026, supposedly out of concern for damaging A'ja Wilson's standing. This hesitation has created a public relations disaster for the brand, one that threatens to tarnish its reputation in the long run. Caitlyn, whose success is undeniable, is being sidelined, and the sports world is taking notice.
During Nike's Q2 earnings, CEO Elliot Hill indicates Caitlyn shoe will be coming for the 2026 season.
The ongoing debate surrounding A'ja Wilson's contract and her public statements has generated a significant amount of attention, but not all of it has been positive. Her comments about privilege and her underwhelming performances in critical playoff moments have led to backlash from fans, analysts, and even some of her peers. Despite her undeniable talent, A'ja's public persona is beginning to be overshadowed by the perception that her ego has become too large for her to maintain the humility and grace that the sport requires. She has unfortunately become a symbol of what can happen when talent is clouded by ego and entitlement. In contrast, Caitlyn Clark is not only proving herself on the court, but also setting a new standard for leadership in women's basketball. The juxtaposition between the two players is stark. Caitlyn's leadership style and mentality are drastically different from A'ja's, which is contributing to Caitlyn's rising popularity and influence both within the sport and outside of it. While A'ja's approach focuses more on her own achievements and defending her image, Caitlyn is focused on the collective, on her teammates, and on lifting the entire sport of women's basketball to new heights. One of the most glaring differences between Caitlyn Clark and A'ja Wilson is their mindset and approach to the game. Caitlyn's leadership style is rooted in her belief that basketball is a team sport.
Big shoe, big woman shoe. It's a shoe that it's going to be comfortable for everyone, and I hope everyone feels that. So I think it's uniquely to me because it is something it can adapt and adjust to anything, and I feel like that's neat.
And her success is not only a reflection of her own hard work, but also the efforts of those around her. Caitlyn frequently gives credit to her teammates and acknowledges that their contributions are just as important as her own. She recognizes that her role as a player goes beyond just scoring points. It's about setting up her teammates for success, making them better, and creating a collaborative environment both on and off the court. In contrast, A'ja Wilson's public persona seems to suggest that she is more focused on her individual success.
A'ja reminds me a lot of you. Like, it's not really about me. It's not about me. And she knows that her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously.
And maintaining her status as the face of the WNBA. This is evident in her tendency to place blame on external factors when things don't go her way. For example, after disappointing performances or tough losses, A'ja often points to referees or other players as the cause of her team's failures. Her defensive attitude when faced with criticism or adversity has begun to alienate fans and commentators who feel she lacks the maturity to take responsibility for her own shortcomings. This self-centered approach not only tarnishes her image, but also undermines the collaborative spirit of the game. Caitlyn Clark, on the other hand, has demonstrated a remarkable sense of accountability. She doesn't shy away from admitting when she could have played better, and she's quick to take responsibility for any mistakes. After tough losses, Caitlyn is the first to acknowledge that she needs to improve.
The more people can get out and watch the W or watch the college game or whatever it is, the better it's going to be for the future of the game.
And she always emphasizes that the team wins and loses together. Her humility and willingness to self-reflect are qualities that have made her a beloved figure in women's basketball. Fans, coaches, and even her opponents respect Caitlyn, not just for her on-court performance, but also for her leadership off the court. Caitlyn Clark's leadership and vision extend beyond her own success. She is actively shaping the future of women's basketball, both by changing the way the game is played and by elevating its visibility.
I came to see Caitlyn Clark tonight.
Oh, gotta watch number 22.
I've been watching Caitlyn for a couple of years, and since then I've dreamed about coming to a game.
Caitlyn's record-breaking performances are not just personal milestones. They represent a larger shift in the sports landscape. As she continues to break barriers, Caitlyn is helping to create opportunities for younger players and for the league as a whole. Her influence goes beyond her on-court abilities. Caitlyn is an ambassador for women's sports, regularly speaking out about the importance of visibility for women's basketball and the need for more support for female athletes. Whether she's at a press conference or on social media, Caitlyn consistently uses her platform to uplift the entire league. She speaks passionately about the importance of exposure for the WNBA, and she advocates for more games to be broadcast nationally, more coverage in the media, and greater investment in women's sports overall. Caitlyn understands that her success is not just about her, but about the future of women's basketball as a whole, and she is committed to pushing for progress at every level.
But also it goes hand in hand. That's it. And if I get fined for this, I'm terribly sorry, but it's ridiculous. We've been going through this all season, so everybody got to their job.
The impact Caitlyn has had on the sport is already undeniable. Her games draw huge crowds, and her TV ratings are through the roof. Fans aren't just showing up to watch a talented player, they're showing up to support a movement. Caitlyn's authenticity and dedication to the game have made her one of the most influential athletes of her generation. Her work ethic is unmatched, and her commitment to her teammates and the sport has earned her widespread respect. Moreover, Caitlyn's presence in the media is reshaping the conversation around women's basketball.
It's said that the best point guards are more worried about their teammates than they are about themselves. What do you like more, setting your teammates up or scoring the ball yourself?
She's not just being praised for her performance, she's being recognized for her leadership and her ability to connect with fans. Caitlyn has become a role model for young girls and aspiring athletes, showing them that talent, hard work, and humility are the keys to success. As we look ahead to the future of women's basketball, it's clear that the focus is shifting. While A'ja Wilson has certainly made her mark on the sport, her approach and attitude may no longer align with the values that fans and players are looking for in a leader. Caitlyn Clark's rise marks the beginning of a new era for the WNBA and women's basketball. She is not only a superstar athlete, but she is also a cultural icon who is changing the way we think about women's sports. Nike, as one of the biggest sponsors in the world, is now facing a crucial decision. Will they continue to back athletes like A'ja Wilson, who are more focused on maintaining their status?
Honestly, I think setting my teammates up, I think that just provides so much more energy to the team. It gets everybody going.
Or will they embrace the future by supporting players like Caitlyn Clark, who are focused on building a legacy that will have a lasting impact on the sport? The decision they make could shape the direction of women's basketball for years to come. Caitlyn Clark's influence is only going to continue to grow, and she is already paving the way for the next generation of women's basketball players. Her commitment to her teammates, her work ethic, and her dedication to the sport have set a new standard for leadership in women's sports. The WNBA is entering a new phase, and Caitlyn Clark is leading the charge. In the end, A'ja Wilson's legacy may be defined by her individual achievements, but Caitlyn Clark's legacy will be one of transformation, transforming the game, the league, and the entire cultural landscape of women's basketball.
Caitlyn Clark and the many athletes that are coming into the WNBA are showing that these endorsement deals will follow great players and great ambassadors.
The shift toward Caitlyn Clark's era is inevitable, and the future of the sport is in good hands with her at the forefront.